Hey lovers! Thank you guys so much for watching. I am so excited. So I think my favorite thing that I've done on my channel was the last conversation that I had with Olivia, my guest this evening, Olivia Rondeau, who is just so amazing in so many ways.
Thank you.
Because there are so many people out there who are like, especially with Black conservatives and gay conservatives, who they make their money by telling Republicans what they want to hear. And then there are people like Olivia who call their party on their shit and challenge them to be better. And I love you, and I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you so much. And I
Mhm.
love that you described me like that because I totally used to be one of those people that was like, I don't know, I don't want to call anyone out this early into the live stream, but
We're just getting
uh,
started.
yeah, but I used to be one of those people that was like, get off the plantation, blah, 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 like Republicans ended slavery. And it's like ignoring like every other aspect
The
of
200
politics
years
ever.
since then.
Yeah.
Also, wait, before we start, just like a couple things. First of all, thank you guys so much for watching. Hi, Leah and Grady and Tame the Watcher. I love all of you. So anyway, I just want to say for everybody watching, I posted a link below. So one of our awesome supporters, followers is battling cancer right now and has a fundraiser for it. So all of your super chats tonight are going to his fundraiser. And like YouTube takes a big percentage from that. So I'm just going to make up the difference. So 100% of what you give in the super chats will go to his fundraiser directly. I also have the link below if you guys want to contribute directly. And his name is Anthony. Anthony, you're going to kick ass. You got this. He just started chemo. So just want to give him a shout out and hopefully we can help you. So yeah, that's about all with that.
That's
So
so
yeah, send in
nice.
the super chats. Um, oh my God, Olivia, where to begin? There's
Okay,
so
well,
much.
first talk about why you got banned on Twitter.
Yeah, so I guess if you guys don't know, I am now banned from Twitter for the second time. How many people get permanently banned from Twitter twice? So yeah, the last time they banned me was total bullshit, and I fought them for 6 months, and I finally got it back. They unsuspended me. And since then, I've been really careful to not give them anything that they could take out of context or anything like that.
Right, right.
So then it turns out they don't need anything. So they sent me a thing maybe like a week and a half ago saying I was banned for evading a permanent
That's what I
suspension.
saw. Someone said that on Twitter. Like someone, one of your subscribers said that on Twitter. I was like, how does that work? Because they're the ones
They
that restored your
unsuspended me.
account in the first place.
Thank you. And then today, this morning, I get another email from them saying that I'm banned for multiple violation of the rules. They won't say what that is though.
Did they even put any tweets that were in
Nope.
violation?
There are none.
Exactly. I've never seen you do anything crazy on Twitter.
I think that's why they go after me. I think they want like obnoxious people. They want friggin' Caitlyn Bennett out there, someone like that, or
Well, and
David
like,
Duke is on Twitter.
well, what I'm thinking is like since like Brandon and like the whole walkaway thing was blowing up, I feel like they got brigaded because I've seen a lot of tweets
Yeah,
that are like, "Oh, this Brandon guy is a white supremacist. Blair White is a white supremacist," and then they
God.
go into like anyone who's associated with those people and will just mass report their account.
Yeah, and I think that they know that Brandon and Blair are like too big for them to go after, that there would be so much backlash that
Maybe, yeah.
I'm the easier target, I guess. Yeah, it's crazy that like because it even says in their rules that that when they ban you, they need to show you why and give you the reasons and nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay, wow. Um,
So
that upsets me. Can't you just make a new account if they're gonna ban you for evading a ban anyways?
that's what a lot of people tell me to do. The only thing is, if I did that, then I would be violating their rules, which I don't want to do. So,
That's
because
true.
if I do that, because I feel like if I did that, I could build up who knows, I could build up a huge following in there. And then 5 years from now, they'll say, oh, that time that you evaded a permanent suspension. So I just don't want to give them the gun to shoot me with,
True. True.
So I don't know. I'm fighting hard to get it back. It just sucks because, like, the last time it took me 6 months to get it back. And if it takes me that long this time, the election's over by then. So,
Right.
and I think especially now where, like, oh God, what's been driving me crazy, by the way? These people who, like, especially the past week, are just posting all of the applause lines, all the socially acceptable things. And
Yeah.
people who I know for a fact don't believe a word of it because they've told me
Yeah.
so. So especially at a time like this, to feel like I don't get to have a voice in the discussion, it's so frustrating. And another thing that's really frustrating is, let me tell you guys, all of your favorite free speech, anti-censorship, anti-big tech people, they don't give a fuck about the things that they
No.
talk about.
No.
People who talk about walk away in every video and then say it's not on their brand to talk about that, like it's maddening. So anyway, if you guys are watching this, please tweet out free Mike Harlow. I'm trying everything I can to get this shit done with. It's always
Oh my
something.
God. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tweet that once I get off the live stream. But that is so ridiculous because we met on Twitter, so now I'm like, my friendship, like, what the hell?
Well, we're gonna be friends way off of the cesspool that is Twitter.
Yeah.
So how have you been since, like, I realized that I was looking the other day at the last stream we did, and it was like a year ago. How crazy is that?
Yeah. I don't even okay, first of all, you were one of I know I was your first guest on your channel, but you were one of the first people I won on their channel too. Like I was like barely doing any interviews or anything at the time. So I was looking back at that recently too when you tagged me on Facebook. I was like, oh my God, like we both look like babies, first of all.
I'm gonna need Botox and a lobotomy after the last year. This is insane.
Oh my
I feel
God.
like we've all just aged a decade.
I was looking at my red hair, like, why did I do that?
I like this one a lot better. I love your hair now.
Thank you. I honestly didn't even hate the red hair. It was just like, I feel like I could have executed it better. I don't know.
No, I like that. I just like this one better.
Thank you. I like it better too.
So how have you been? How have you been holding up with quarantining and all that?
So I started like at first I followed all the rules, you know, I didn't go out. I'm like an introvert. So when they were like, oh, no group gatherings above 50, I was like completely fine with that. I was like, when have I ever gone to a group gathering above 50? Like like I wasn't even at school anyways. Here's the thing. I was doing my internship at the Daily Caller at the time. And so that was really like my only like thing where I would come in contact with other people and traveling to and from that on the metro. So I was like, okay, no more work. I can deal with that. I can work from home. And that's about it. But then they started doing more and more. So instead of like 2 weeks of like self-isolation, it was like you can't even hang out with someone. You can't even hang out with someone from another household. So that's when I was like, but I still follow the rules. I still follow the rules until like a month ago, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, same basically.
Yeah. I still haven't been in any large groups. The most contact I've been in is when I volunteer at the coronavirus relief food drive here in DC, but still I'm really over the mask thing. Like
I won't do it.
It is frustrating. It is frustrating. Overall, I'm doing okay with it because no one I know has been affected by coronavirus at all. I don't know anyone who has caught it, who has had it, anything like that. It's just frustrating that everyone has to suffer, you know?
Okay, but wait, parentheses, just like side note, is it just me or have you encountered all of these, it's always gay guys too, all of these guys who are like, oh, I had it, I know I had it, I definitely had it, you just didn't know that I had it.
Okay, here's the thing with that. I've been known to claim that a couple times, and here's why. Because I was at CPAC, then like 2 days after CPAC, they were like, so-and-so had it. And it was a person who came in contact. I'm not going to say the person's name again, but it was a person that came in contact with people that I came in contact with, like shook hands and hugged with and stuff.
Okay, that's a little different.
Yeah. And then later, one of my coworkers, came in contact with someone and I worked closely with them too who tested positive. So I've been in like 2 degrees or 1 or 2 degrees of separation with people who have come into contact with it. And then immediately after CPAC and immediately after coming in contact with that coworker, I was sick for a week. So
okay, no, that's a little different. But I've just met all these people who was like, oh, well, for 2 days back in February, I had a cough.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
And people are talking about like back in like November, December. I'm like, it probably wasn't in the US to that much of a degree back then. Like I've been covering this for the caller since I started there in January, and it was not in the U.S. at that time, to anyone's knowledge.
I should say I just saw hi Tame the Watcher, I love you. Also hi Kevin. Tame said that we need to talk about abolishing the police. Oh, don't you? We're gonna get to everything. we nobody's gonna be speaking to any of us after tonight. We're gonna be talking so much
this
shit.
Is controversial.
God, okay. So first of all, we won't get too much into the coronavirus because I think everyone's sick of hearing about that. But
I am.
Yeah, same. I'll just say for me, I'm the same way at the beginning. And I think at the beginning, everybody was super scared about leaving their house. Oh my God, if I go to the grocery store, if I touch change, I'm going to get it. So we all followed the rules. However, a lot of us really lost a lot of things with this, lost so much work and career opportunities and money and overnight gone. And so at a certain point when this just kept going on and on and on, and we realized that that was not even a consideration. It was not even up for discussion. That's when I was like, fuck this. And now the fact that everybody is just out gathering, it always just felt to me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it just felt to me like there's something that doesn't seem right here. There's something we don't know. And now it seems like it ended overnight. So either we were being lied to the whole time, or it just had to do with politics.
That's the part that gets me, that now the government is letting like millions and hundreds of thousands of people congregate, which obviously I have no problem with. People can protest, Black Lives Matter, people can do whatever they want. But I'm like, just last week ago, y'all were accusing us of killing grandma at the nursing home when we went outside. So I would like to know what is socially acceptable to do. Am I allowed to go to the beach? Am I allowed to go to the park? Am I allowed to go shopping without a mask on?
No, you're just allowed to burn shit.
You're just allowed to burn shit. As long as you have a mask on, you're allowed to do whatever you want, actually.
Yeah. No, by the sixth or seventh time somebody told me I was killing grandma, I was like, all right, bring her here. I'll push the bitch into traffic myself. Fuck her.
Anyway, to touch on the subject, I actually have not come into contact with my grandparents since the thing started, because I know it's like if you know someone has medical problems and you know someone is like more susceptible, be careful. So I've seen my mom's mom and then my dad's parents each one time, but I didn't like touch them or sit down or anything. So I am a little bit worried about elderly people, but that's, I mean,
I haven't seen
you can still take personal precaution without the law telling you can't go outside, because I've been taking personal precaution.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen my parents in months. Since I've seen them like through the door, that I would do some shopping for them and pass it to them. This is like the longest I've ever not seen my dad. Hi, Dad. He's watching. He's gonna be so mad at me that I didn't shave. I'm gonna get a call from him after this.
Hi, Mike's dad.
Oh, you guys are gonna meet. You'd love each other. You gotta come to New York. Well, I would say come to New York, but I think it's more like I gotta get the fuck out of here because.
Okay, you come to DC then.
I want to. I really want to go to Texas. Why don't we just go to Texas?
Let's meet in Texas. I've never been to Texas. Wait, haven't been either. Wait, I lied. I have been to Texas, but it's been a long time, and it wasn't in any of the big cities. So yeah, let's go to Texas.
So yeah, I feel like we were all just kind of trying to deal with this shit going on forever, and then we get hit with a whole new bombshell with all this shit going on. So
yeah,
where do we even start with this? I think. Okay, so I'll just say what my feelings are.
Go ahead.
I've had very conflicted feelings about this, sort of balancing my heart and my brain and different sides of it. And I think both parties are disgusting. I think both parties do nothing. The Republican Party, and especially in relation to the Black community, is an embarrassment. I am so.
I stand you. I feel like you weren't this woke last year. This is amazing. I wasn't either
a Republican then.
That's true.
But now, because like in New York, they basically don't let you be an independent. You can't vote in the primary if you are. So
same
I'm like,
thing here in Maryland. It's the same thing.
So I have to choose. So I'm like, okay, I'm a Republican now, but I'm gonna friggin' like make them be better and actually do things. And
work for that shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
So anyway, I guess let's just start at the beginning with all this shit. So, first of all, the first thing that oh my God, I wish my dog would shut up. 1 second. Charlie, shut the fuck up.
I'm literally calling PETA right now.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so when I first saw the George Floyd video, the biggest question that I had, and this is something that I really don't hear many people bringing up, especially the activists. The biggest question that I had is, how was this person hired and how was he allowed to remain on the police force? Because
The unions. The unions.
is that what you think?
Yeah, because listen, he had tons of prior complaints. He has shot and killed unarmed people before. And then what I read, I haven't verified this yet, but I did see an article saying this, that I think it was at least 2 out of the 3 cops, maybe all 3, but 2 of the younger ones, they had been trained by Derek Chauvin as well. So it's like
Oh
they all kind
wow.
of protect each other with the police union. And Democrats are the ones that support unions. And Minnesota is a Democrat-run city.
Not
So
just a Democrat-run city. I mean, they have Keith Ellison, they have Ilhan Omar. It's like a
it's like
radically
an
left
Antifa run city.
Yeah, see, I never realized that it was like as far gone as like Portland and San Francisco and those places.
Exactly. I
But
didn't
clearly,
know. I honestly, I've never been to Minnesota. Never
me
heard of
neither.
anything happening in Minneapolis, so I really didn't know it. I knew about Keith Ellison, and I knew about Ilhan Omar, but I didn't know the extent of where it was going deep into the police department, because they're all like, "Oh, white supremacy," and I get it. I definitely get that racism and police brutality exists, but it's like you have the power to change that. Y'all are in charge. Y'all are in charge of the police department. Y'all are in charge of the government there. So it's like, why are they the ones so surprised? Y'all hired these people, basically.
Yeah, well, and then they divert the attention to everyone else. To it's Republicans, it's Trump, it's everyone but them. It's always their cities, it's always their police departments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it definitely is a problem in urban areas in general. That will have a problem with like over policing, over militarizing of
Yeah.
police, and just attracting the wrong people in general to the job. So I've talked to my mom about this. My white mother was at the Black Lives Matter protest yesterday. I thought that was pretty
Oh, wow.
funny. She supports me. She supports everything I do.
Are your
Um,
parents liberal, Democrat, or
what
just
is
your mom?
honest? Okay, so both my parents voted for Obama, and both my parents voted for Trump. So
Oh, wow.
I
That's a
wouldn't say,
lot of people that were like
yeah.
that.
So I wouldn't say there's strictly one way or the other. My dad is definitely more conservative than my mom, but I think my mom would be best described as like independent or moderate.
Mm. Yeah, my parents are like lifelong Democrats. Probably never voted Republican ever, and now they're seeing the result of all this because we're originally from New York City, so they remember how it was back in the 70s, and they're like, "Oh my God, it hasn't been like this since that." We're returning to that. So they see the reality of things. I'm sorry though. You said so. Your mom was at the protest.
Oh yeah, I was. Why did I say that? I like lost my whole train of thought. I was
I know
just
we've got so much to get to.
oh my god, I was just saying how like she basically like supports me and stuff. But we were talking about how a lot of jobs in law enforcement attract the wrong people because they know that the police union will protect them. So let's say you got bullied in high school, or I don't know, your girlfriend cheated on you, you want to take your anger out on someone. You know the police union will protect you, just like any union would. That's why a lot of corporate jobs and education jobs are protected. Even when a teacher does like horrendous things like sexting like a kid or something, they'll get like suspended without pay. That's the same thing that happens with cops. It just attracts the wrong people to the job when they have all that protection.
Yeah, you know what it actually reminds me of a bit is pedophile priests when they just get moved from church to church to
Because
church.
they got protected. It's
That's
about
right.
dismantling the institution, rebuilding it back up. I would not say it's about defunding the police. And I say that as a libertarian, as someone who is very anti most forms of taxation, who is very anti government control. But I'm not a complete anarchist or anything, so I'm not in favor of defunding the police. I am in favor of definitely reforming the criminal justice system for sure.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And something that I find psychotic is that do these people who are protesting realize that they're protesting and screaming about policing, and then at the same time they tell you to go vote for a person who was one of the architects of mass incarceration and the war on drugs. I mean,
Oh my
there is a
God.
video. I don't know if you've seen this clip. There is a video of Joe Biden on the Senate floor when he passed one of his crime bills, talking about how proud he is of this law. And he goes, the only thing we don't do in here is hang people for jaywalking. So that's your beloved Democratic Party. That's what
Oh
you're
my
protesting
Lord.
people to vote for. I don't understand. I don't understand the cognitive dissonance, how you protest these policies and then you vote for these policies.
And then we have Joe Biden saying he wants a black woman for vice president, and his two choices are like Kamala Harris and Stacey Abrams. First of all, Stacey Abrams has never accomplished anything. She lost in her own state. Kamala Harris is a former cop, has lots of scandals for arresting people for truancy charges, for small marijuana charges. So let's not talk about defund the police, defund the police. We need a black woman. We need to end white supremacy. When the black woman of color, whatever you want to call her, that the racist Joe Biden wants as vice president is also part of the police that you so badly want to defund.
Well, I'm telling you guys, enjoy this time for the next couple weeks, because this is the last time where you will ever be able to be against Joe Biden, because in a couple weeks he's going to pick a black woman as his vice president, and then from now until November, any reason you don't vote for him, you're a racist, you hate women, you hate black people, you hate black women.
And I will be one of the only conservatives left to criticize Kamala, because I fit in that demographic. So I can't be accused of being actually
no, they will anyway.
People will call me a coon for sure, but they can't accuse me of being like sexist or racist.
It's amazing how it suddenly becomes okay to call people things like that.
I mean, I've experienced. I mean, I'm sure you're gay, so you've definitely experienced it. What's the word? What's like the gay version of coon?
Self-hating.
Self-hate. Okay, that goes for us too. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm like narcissist would be more accurate. Like,
yeah. I was just wondering, because like there's like a popular one for black people, like Uncle Tom, and it's based off the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. So I was wondering, like, is there a book about like the Stonewall riots or something where there was like basically the gay equivalent of a coon that they just like to name y'all after?
Don't give them ideas. They're gonna go and write this shit.
I just think it would be funny, just so it's all equally applied.
You're an Aunt Dorothy. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just came up with that. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand the cognitive dissonance. I really don't. And that. So let's. Oh my God, we have so much to get into with this. Okay, so okay. Here's what I've had conflicting feelings about. Let me know what you think. So on the one hand, I know what the statistics are. We all, if you're watching this channel, you know what the statistics are of the number of unarmed black people who are killed each year and all that. So I understand that on the one end. But on the other side, I truly, genuinely feel like if George Floyd and if Ahmaud Arbery were white, I genuinely think they would still be alive. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you, and I wanted to apply some more things that came out. Have you listened to the preliminary hearing or watched the preliminary hearing for the McMichaels in the Arbery case?
No, I didn't know what happened yet.
Okay, so this is going to basically prove your argument, at least for the Arbery case, correct. So the man that was driving the truck who was recording, he testified and said that Travis McMichael, the white man that shot Ahmaud Arbery, called him an effing N-word as he shot him and yelled it at him. And then it also came out in testimony that they were chasing with the car and hit him with the car. So wow, you got a $20 super chat. Whoa.
Wow. Thank you so much, Peekaboo. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. Any other super chats you have throughout the whole thing? We'll be reading, we'll be acknowledging. Thank you so much, Peekaboo. That's awesome.
But yeah, so it came out that they chased him down, hit him with the car, and called him the N-word. So how is that not racially motivated?
No, of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Like, that's the thing. I think conservatives, and I'm not saying they necessarily shouldn't in some way, but I think that they get very hung up on like charts and numbers. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think there's also room for common sense. And I think most of us feel like, with Ahmaud Arbery at least, would they really have been so concerned about if he stepped on a property, if he didn't, if you're a white guy? I don't think so. I really don't.
Oh, and another thing. So a quote from the McMichaels said that they didn't even see him on the property. They just saw him running and thought he looked like a criminal. So again, when you just see a black dude running, that doesn't mean he's a criminal. That doesn't mean he deserves to get shot, call the police on, whatever. So to me, that was racially motivated. In the case of George Floyd, you know what? I can't say for sure, but this is just another thing. The reaction to it, where a lot of conservative pundits and a lot of just random people are like, oh, he had a fake $20 bill. Look at this charge from 13 years ago. His last charge was from 13 years ago. So,
and they didn't know that, though.
Exactly. No one knew that. So if you have to go into a black man's past criminal history to justify his death some type of way, then I think you are racist. I think you are racist. Why would you say that shit? Why would you say that shit?
Yeah. Sorry, parentheses for super chat. Kevin, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. You guys are awesome. Yeah. So I don't have a chart to show you for that's what I did, but I think it's just common sense that there are these double standards and prejudices that people have. And that's another thing too, is we're hearing so much about white privilege, white privilege, white privilege. And here's the thing is I think when you get down to what that really means, there are a lot of aspects of it that I don't disagree with. I think there are absolutely double standards and disparities between the races. But I think it only does negative things when you call that privilege. Like if they called that racial double standards, no one would take an issue with it. But I think it is a net negative when you have people like, if you have some white guy in middle America who has no money or power and is working 3 jobs and trying to feed his family, and then you tell them how privileged they are, like, do you think that makes them less racist or more racist? Do you think that makes them care more about racial injustice? So I just think it's a negative thing for everyone.
Here's the thing, and I have said that for a long time, like, oh, white privilege doesn't this and all that, but someone posed it to me in this way that made me rethink it. White privilege doesn't mean that every white person is privileged. It just means they have not suffered because they are black or a minority or something. So I agree that saying white privilege is a little bit weird way to say it because, like you said, every white person is not privileged. I feel like it almost should be worded as like maybe an anti-black or a racist or minority disadvantage, or something. Even though not every minority is disadvantaged, so that's another thing. So it's really hard to describe. We keep making these new terms to just say different types of races, like racism. Like if something is racist, just say it. But this brings me to kind of remember this tweet I made yesterday or the day before, where I was like, okay, if this was directed at conservatives and Republicans, it was like, okay, so you say the abortion industry is racist, gun control is racist, Democrats are racist, welfare is racist, all these things are racist,
but nothing else.
But systemic racism doesn't exist, but all of those are systems perpetuated by the government that exist. How are you going to say all these systems are racist, but systemic racism doesn't exist? That's what I would like to know.
Olivia, are you implying that Republicans are hypocrites or something? How dare you?
I don't know. It came in a fit of clarity that I just saw. I just had a wave of clarity because I saw all these people, all these even a lot of black conservatives are like, oh, systemic racism doesn't exist, and then they're like, abortion is racist. The Democrats are the real racists. We're on the Democratic plantation, bro. If we're on the plantation, that means you're oppressed. If you're on the plantation, you're just calling black Democrats slaves on the plantation. That you're admitting, you're conceding to some sort of manipulation and discrimination. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Republicans for a sec. I am so furious. So, in my opinion, this is the summary of the two parties when it comes to the black community and black issues. Democrats have horrible, harmful, toxic, bad ideas. Republicans have nothing. It's bad ideas versus no ideas. The Republican
Yep.
Party has ignored the Black community for fucking decades now. They
Yeah.
do nothing. They do nothing. They do nothing. They do nothing. And I'm so sick of it. They don't go they don't go into Black communities. They don't speak directly to Black people. They don't go to the Black churches. Go to something. And I am so sick of hearing this weak ass loser mentality of, oh, they can't because they'll get attacked. Oh, Trump can't say this, he'll get attacked. They get attacked anyway. So if you try to make things better and you fail, then try again. And if you still fail, then try fucking harder.
All right. Okay. So I agree with 100% you're saying. So I don't know if you saw, because you're not on Twitter anymore, but this guy, he has his own show. I think it's like I don't know how to say his name. It's like Hake or Hawk. I don't know. I think it's like Hake or something. I don't know. He's a white dude. He works for Jesse Lee Patterson. I don't know. You know that Black guy that's always talking about how Black people suck and like white people create.
Jesse Lee Peterson?
Yeah, that guy.
I hate him.
Anyways,
sorry, no, cut you off. Just wanted to say, I just saw Tame the Watcher says Scott Presler does. Absolutely, Scott Presler does. The Republican Party should do a tenth as much as he does.
Yeah, I get that comment a lot, and people don't know that me and Scott are friends, and like, oh, Scott goes in the Scott. Goes
no,
in
I'm not talking. I'm not talking about people like him. I'm talking about the politicians. Like,
yeah, he's not in the GOP. Yeah,
if a Republican politician did as much in a year as Scott does in a day, I would be thrilled.
I would praise my thanks to Rush Limbaugh if that happened.
I'm sorry though. Go on.
But yeah, so there's this white guy that works for or does something, or is a big fan of JLP, and he went on. He did a live debate with Jeff Charles. He writes for the Red State. He was on Twitter as Jeff the Conservatarian. I don't know if you ever followed him or knew who he was, but he's a writer with the Red State, and so you know how JLP is like, he has a quote that's like, white people build and Black communities destroy, or something like that. And that's basically his philosophy, is that he believes that everything wrong with the Black community is basically the Black community's fault. Republicans are the way out for the Black community. And so Jeff brought up that in many Black communities, Democrats run unopposed.
My congresswoman runs unopposed.
In dozens of districts. You are a perfect example. Your community is a perfect example. They run unopposed. So who are they supposed to vote for?
But you know who does run against them? The Democratic Socialists. So the Democratic Socialists can run, but Republicans can't be bothered. It is such bull. And here's the thing too. I got a lot of pushback when I was on Twitter and I was saying this, is that I am so sick of conservatives just bashing AOC all the time. It's like, again, I wish they would put as a tenth of the effort into winning elections as she put into winning that one. And obviously, I'm no fan of hers, but I live right. Her district ends a block away from me. And before anyone knew who she was, I would constantly see her around the neighborhood, knocking on doors, handing out flyers. When have I ever seen a Republican do that? Never, not once, ever.
Yo, you have some people loving the talking points in the comments.
Sorry, I wasn't to catch up with it.
Yeah, they're like, Democrats are the real racists, bro. Yo, once you realize that neither party has much merit, has a Black agenda. Here's the thing. You want Black people to be colorblind. You want everyone to be colorblind. Oh, I don't see race. Democrats are the real racists. Wake up, Brexit, walk away, whatever. You can say all that, but until you recognize the faults that Republicans have, and until you recognize that Black people will not vote for you if you don't have a Black agenda. So the more that you say we have to be colorblind, you have to ignore race, Black people will not listen to you. That's just not going to happen. It's literally not going to happen.
Someone said in the comments that Mr. Darren said, we don't target particular groups to help. We try to get out of the way and set the occasion for all people to be successful.
That's exactly the problem. That's the problem.
No, but I mean, I'm not saying that that's not a good thing, but the reality is that there are specific issues that impact specific people. And I don't think that's identity politics to bring that up. That's just true.
I stopped criticizing the whole identity politics thing because I noticed that people on the right, they only dislike it when it's done by people on the left. So they have no problem saying Brexit or Young Black Leadership Summit or gay exit. They have no problem saying, oh, America's favorite Black gay Republican. And yes, I will call that out, because people will like to do that and then talk about identity politics. That is identity politics. And it can be positive or negative. So I'm not going to say that identity politics in general is bad or good. So, yeah, I'm not going to criticize people for identity politics just on the left anymore.
No, I mean, I will when it's phony, but I think there's a difference between identity politics and problem solving, which is what this is. And the reason that I am so angry about this is because I'm telling you, I can see in my head what Republicans could be. I mean, even just think of their own self-interest. Even if that's all they're operating off of, there's such an opportunity right now to really be about something and stand for something and be the party to pick up the pieces, be the party to take on the issues and the people that have just been left in the dust by Democrats. Because all of these places, here's the thing, everybody always brings up all of these places are run by Democrats. All the places in the country that are falling apart are run by Democrats. Absolutely. And you know what? I 100% blame Republicans because they have allowed this to happen by offering no alternative. They do nothing. They don't try to win elections. They don't. I mean, oh my God, you guys should see the placeholder when they do run a candidate in places like
it's a completely incompetent person.
Oh Here's my God.
That's why I've been very outward with my support for Kimberly Klacik. She's running in Maryland District 7.
She won
She won the Republican primaries. And she is actually door knocking. She's doing the cleanups with Scott. You know, she's out here handing out t-shirts. She is actually making an effort. You know,
yeah.
And she hasn't been supported by the establishment. You know, she hasn't been getting nationally recognized by the establishment, by Trump, by the GOP, by anyone. She hasn't received these establishment endorsements. So I commend her for doing that on her own and for rallying all these people together. But she, in my opinion, I don't want to speak for her, but I don't see enough support from the party, like for her. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. That's how the party is. That's why I feel like people like us got to take it over. All of us.
We do.
It makes me so mad because I mean, I feel like the Black community has just been totally failed by both parties, that nothing has changed under Democrat leadership. Things just get worse. But how, I mean, you know, first of all, I always point this out, but like something like 40% of African Americans identify as conservative, but over 90% vote Democrat. 90% of people cannot all be wrong. Clearly, there is a reason there.
Right. And I've heard a lot of people this is just anecdotal, but I've heard a lot of personal testimonies that are like, you know what? I am not a socialist. I do want to keep my guns. You know, I don't accept this whole like LGBTQI plus shit. But they believe that the Republican Party does not have a Black agenda, so they won't vote for him. And they run and again, the Democrats run unopposed. So what are they going to do?
I'm telling you, as somebody who lives in a diverse blue city, I've never once in my entire life seen a Republican here. And everyone else, they come and knock on my door every election. The Democrats, the Democratic Socialists, the Green Party.
What else are you supposed to vote for? You're either supposed to not vote or vote for a Democrat.
Yeah, people cannot vote for you if they don't know who you are. If you don't come and speak to them. If you don't try, it is maddening to me.
Someone said coming up with a Black agenda goes against everything the GOP stands for.
I disagree.
Yeah, it goes against what the establishment GOP stands for. But the Republican Party was founded by a lot of freed Black men slaves who had a Black agenda. So I don't want to see any more comments talking about the GOP doesn't need a Black agenda. Black Republicans are coming back, not just for the seat at the table, but they're coming back to take over the table. Because originally the Republican Party had a Black agenda. And so if you want to come up on here and say, oh, the Democrats started the KKK, then you can also come up on here and say, Black people started the Black agenda within the Republican Party. So
and how has that worked for you? How has that worked for Republicans for decades, ignoring Black people and gay people and young people? And it's enough of the same old shit. Trump won because people were tired of the same old shit. And so I would just say, I disagree with you because I think you're thinking of it as though here's a black face, now vote for me. That's not what it is. What we're talking about is going into black communities, seeing what the problems are, and offering solutions. I mean, I think that's just common sense.
Precisely. Precisely. I think you get it. I think you get it more than a lot of, you're not even like a Republican. Like, I know you're registered as it, but like you're more independent, more moderate, and you get it. So, it's going to be a long time before I think it's like the older white conservative generation gets that. And maybe we'll have to wait another generation before Republicans get on board with the black agenda thing. Or maybe Trump's influence will be the trajectory we need to keep going up, because he does have somewhat of a black outreach program that is pretty, it's mildly successful. I'll give him that. So if we could get the GOP to do what Trump is doing and keep going up with that trajectory, it would be better.
Absolutely. Like, and it's like, for example, just to make an analogy, it's like when Trump does things to try to end AIDS. That's a gay issue because AIDS disproportionately affects gay people, not only gay people, but this is the same sort of thing. It's not only black people that would prosper from these things, but it's looking at the specific things, the specific problems that they have had in their communities for decades that have just been unaddressed, because Democrats are happy to just feed you poison and Republicans wash their hands of it and do nothing. It's driving me crazy because it's like we're trying to help you. We're trying to like get you to win.
A lot of Republicans, I'm going to exclude Trump from this statement, because Trump actually does do a lot for people who aren't necessarily his base. But a lot of Republicans don't do that. And they're very comfortable with just appealing to the white evangelical who is over 40 years old. And that's a shrinking demographic. And we can discuss that at a later date, if that's bad or good, how to stop it, how to continue it. But the truth of the matter is, that is a shrinking demographic, and a lot of minorities, a lot of young people are voting now. So it's like you have to at some point tackle these issues, because it won't just be 90% of black people voting Democrat. It'll be 90% of all minorities and all young people and women. So if it keeps going in this direction, just trying to appeal to one voter base, it's not going to work out.
No, absolutely. And it's not, someone said it's like treating people special. That's not it at all. It's saying if you go into this neighborhood and seeing what the problems are, the schools are falling down. Let's help them build better schools. It's the most basic fundamental things that they're not doing. And it's driving me crazy. And what drives me crazy too is that I think on policy, Trump has been so far superior for the black community than Biden certainly has been.
For sure. For sure.
His messaging could certainly be a lot better, I think. And I just wish the thing is, I feel like Democrats, they are loving this. They are thrilled to have this go on forever. They prosper when blacks and whites are at each other's throats. So I really want to see Republicans end the racial divide, or lessen it, heal it, do something. Because even if you're somebody who thinks there's no racism, there's no police brutality, clearly this is one of the pressing issues of this decade, of the last couple years. So do something. We want to be unified. We don't want to spend the rest. I truly think that the vast majority of us do not want to spend all of eternity fighting with each other about a fucking crayon color.
We don't want a race war. We don't want a race war. Oh my God. I'm going to be so sad in the impending race war when I have to shoot you, Mikey. I'm going to be really upset about it.
Well, I'm going to move to Texas and take a break and like shoot at each other. Like,
oh my God. I'm going to be.
When you're half and half. What are you going to shoot half of yourself?
No comment. No,
I
had people. I tweeted the other day. I was like, which side should I take in the race war? And a lot of black people were like, just come to our side. Because honestly, no, I mean, who's gonna view me as white? Dude, I mean, it's weird. It's a weird thing in race relations in America, but black people, I mean, mixed people in general are viewed as black enough. You know what I mean? Like Obama's like
from both sides, kind of.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But Obama was like the first black president, and so after that, like every mixed person is just black. So a lot of black people were like, just come fight on our side.
So here, let me know what you think of this. This is another sort of mixed feeling that I have towards this, is that I think there are two sides of this, and I really think if we're just looking at solving issues and trying to end this bullshit, I really think that the solution needs to be black and white. on both sides. I feel like we all need to do things, because I feel like on the one hand, racism is real, double standards are real, prejudices are real, and those can often lead to violent outcomes. But I honestly do feel like on the other side, that because the crime rate in the Black community is so high, it fuels those prejudices. And I feel like you can never solve one without addressing the other.
Here's the thing. I see the whole like, 13 do 50 statistic or whatever. That is true for urban areas to a certain extent, but let's break that down. So what the number they're talking about is perpetuated mainly by Black men between the ages of like 15 and 30. So that's an even smaller percentage. That's less than half of 13. So let's just take half of that away. Let's say we have like 7% left. That's just men. And then take the age group. I don't know what the breakdown of the age group in the Black male community is in America, but let's say that takes it down to 3%. So we have 3% of these people, right? And then we take it down even further to where we have statistics. It's not most Black people doing violent crimes. It's less than 0.0 something percent. So it's not even 1% of people. So once we realize that, we can agree that there is no real stereotype being proven. I mean, there's dangerous neighborhoods for sure, but it's not most Black people. It's not half Black people. It's not even 10% of Black people. It's not even 1% of Black people. So we can definitely talk about lowering crime rates for that age group within the gender, within the race.
Yeah.
But
I think unless you address that, then I think that has to be part of the discussion if you're going to try and stop prejudices and
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, when people are like, "Oh, you're proving this stereotype correct," I'm like, "You already viewed me like that." So yeah. So I've had that before where I don't know, like how there's like an angry Black woman stereotype or whatever, and I'll like cuss someone out on Twitter. They'll be like, "Oh, you're proving the stereotype correct." Like you already thought that. So yeah. So I mean, we already have such a minuscule. America in general has a low crime rate. And we already have such a minuscule percentage of the population, including the Black population, including the Black male population, that is a violent offender. And so when people are like, "Oh, you're just upholding the stereotype," or "We need to like stop this before we stop the stereotype," it's kind of bullshit, to be honest. I'm sorry to say, but it's not enough to warrant the stereotype in the first place, especially when historically Black neighborhoods have been thriving, and it's only the last generation or so that it has been stereotypically high crime.
Exactly. Well, which I think there's another side of it too that doesn't get discussed, which is if you look at other similar Western countries, the crime rate among races is basically the same. So that disproves any racist trying to.
If we're going to talk about Black on Black, especially if we're going to talk about Black on Black crime, because Black on Black crime, that the number where they're referring to, like 96%, that is just the amount of crime that happens with a Black person involved that is against another Black person. The white on crime rate is about 86%, so it's also a very high number. Most crimes are intraracial, so they're not. Most crimes in general are not interracial. So there's not a heightened sense of white on Black crimes, and there's not a heightened sense of Black on white crimes either. It's about proximity for the most part. So if I live in a 99.9% white community, most of the crimes there are going to be against white people by white people. If I live in a Black or more urban community, it's going to be a similar thing.
Well, what I was going to say is I think if you look at the statistics in other countries, they don't seem to have such a high rate. Like in Canada, an Aboriginal Canadian is like, I think 3 times more likely to commit crimes than African American men are. So I think it's clearly things that we're doing. Policies that are in place, laws that are in place. I think it's years of bad policies.
Especially when you go back to the Reconstruction era, to the Jim Crow era, to a lot of areas where Black people were segregated and were forced to live in proximity with each other, and the crime rate was a lot lower. And we've been the same percentage of the population forever because of abortion and other things like that. I think the main reason is abortion. I've heard some people make the argument that there's a lot of violent crime, but I don't think that would have such a detriment on the overall population because abortion is like ends like millions of lives. So I think that makes more sense to me. But considering that we've always been in black communities.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say there are more black babies aborted in New York than ones who are born.
Exactly. So that has to have a huge impact on the population. We've been 12 to 14% of the population for like several generations now. So since we were already forced into proximity together, and since the crime rate has only been spiking in the last generation or 2 generations or so, I know that it's not like only our fault. Like I know that there's outside forces at play. There's culture issues for sure. I'm not a gangbanger. I don't support gangbanger culture. But there is an over incarceration rate. There have been studies that have shown that black and white men get sentenced different amounts of time for the same crime, for the same offense, things like that. So there are things that affect that crime rate for sure.
No, well, that's exactly what I was saying, is that I think any meaningful solution has to be multifaceted, has to be looking at all these things from culture to laws to sentencing.
And a lot of people want to finger point. They're like, oh, it's white supremacy. No, I will admit there is a culture issue with young black men in certain urban areas like Chicago. A lot of it probably comes from music and the lack of fatherhood in the home. But then we also can't point the finger at just the entire black community, like it's everyone in the black community, like it's even a majority or even half of people in the black community.
Yeah, no, I think where that does exist, for me at least, it's the same criticism I have of the friggin' gay community. It's probably even worse with the homos, but it's like they glorify self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
It just seems like everything is just awful right now.
It is awful. It is fucking awful.
And that's the thing. I'm sorry.
I'm just agreeing with you, and I'm just mad. Yo, there's this dude who's like really mad in the comments. He said,
I'm sorry. Can you send your question again? Because I lost track. I know you had a question, but
This man said, you know who is more effective than these two? Chandler Crump. Bro, the fact that he's naming people that I'm actually friends with is funny. Like, I don't care.
2020 does suck ass, someone said.
He said stereotypes exist because they're true. Yeah, I think he's just racist. So I'm just closing.
Sometimes they are and sometimes not, and that's why you shouldn't prejudge people.
Yeah. Especially if you actually look at the statistics. Again, like I brought up the numbers I just brought up, it's not the majority of the black community. It's not even half of the black community. So let's stop with the stereotypes.
But isn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it the percentage of crimes being committed? Like not that it's most in the black community, but of the crimes being committed.
It is a percentage of the crimes being committed, but people use that to stereotype the majority of the black community when it's a very small percentage of people within the black community, within a certain age group and within the male gender that is committing those crimes. So it's like, I think it's more of a generational issue, to be honest.
See, I think there's never any excuse to judge people by that, but I think that's something that needs to be addressed. And why that's happening, I don't know. I think it's a multitude of things, like we said. It's laws, it's sentencing, it's arresting, it's culture, it's all of these things, which is why I think any meaningful solution has to be looking at everything on every side. And that's the problem with what we have right now, because one side only wants to focus on what they want to focus on, and the other side does the same thing. And we can't get any, like, this is a very complex issue, and complex issues need complex solutions.
Yeah. What I would like
for that.
Yeah, and what I would propose is I want to end the war on drugs that prevents a lot of low-level, non-violent drug offenders from, going to prison. And most of that group is men. A lot of it is minority men, Latino and Black men, who are caught up and given longer sentences for the same crime as white men. So ending the war on drugs would be a huge thing. A lot of fathers would be put back in the homes. And then another thing, I don't know if this can be changed with something political, but a cultural change has to be made where we don't glorify gangbanging, and I don't want to be like, oh, this is everybody in the Black community, because obviously it's not. But there is a subset. There is for sure a subset in certain urban areas that do glorify that. So I will concede that.
Yeah, everything is just terrible. And the thing that's most frustrating is that I don't think half of people want solutions. I think they're perfectly happy to just
no.
see
A lot of people
forever.
a lot of people would rather just stereotyping groups of people, and a lot of people, whether that be, oh, it's all white supremacists, or it's all thugs, it's all the N-words, like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people would rather just hate the other group than come together. Are you vaping? That kind of makes me want to light a joint right now. I don't have a vape.
I had to, so I quit smoking and I made it like 8 months, and then during this quarantine I've like really been slipping with cigarettes. So because they closed all the vape shops.
I do not blame you, sis. I do not blame you.
I was so solid before the quarantine, and now I've been kind of like,
I was hella proud of you though. I was like, oh my god, he quit like cold turkey like that. Like, whew.
I was doing really well before all this shit.
It's stressful. I do not blame you.
What the hell was I about to say? I was about to say something that felt like it was supposed to be so insightful, and now I don't remember. What the hell were we talking about?
How everything is shitty and everything is horrible.
It's awful. I'm just, I really, like I said, I think Trump's policies have been really, honestly, the thing that made me, because I didn't vote for Trump last time. I hated him last time. The thing that, oh my God, who's calling me? Go away. This is weird. I'm getting a phone call from political.
Now I get phone calls that are labeled political call. Why would I ever answer that shit? I don't want to answer that shit.
I'm gonna put you over there. What were we saying?
Just how everything sucks.
It's horrible. Oh yes. Oh, here's what I was gonna say. Is I think for people who still support all of the social justice, and I try not to overuse these, but they're very applicable here.
Oh,
for people who support the same social justice of the past decade, I would truly ask, where are things better? Who is better off? Where are people getting along? And it seems like everything is just worse because of it. So I don't know why then it is so taboo to say, hey, this isn't working, so why don't we try a different approach and try and solve problems? But no.
They just want to go super hard. They just want to call everyone like a bigot because of it. Like, there's things that are actually racist, like stereotypes, discrimination, things like that. But it reminds me of the whole thing where Blair did a whole thing about how it's not transphobic to say certain things. Like, it's not transphobic to say, oh, I don't prefer to date trans people. Like, that's not discrimination. You're allowed to have a preference.
It's ridiculous.
I love Blair. I remember last time I came on here, I was like fangirling about her. And then like right after I got off and you posted, or somebody it might have been me, but you retweeted it. I like posted part of the clip and she like liked it and followed me. And I was like,
aw.
And then, so like fast forward like a whole ass year later, and she was super supportive. So I don't know if you saw, were you on Twitter at the point where I basically like posted like my whole entire dirty life story? Yo, she commented on it. I DM'd her about it. Like, we spoke in the DMs about it. Like, she was so sweet. I just had to get that out there.
Oh no, she's the best.
I love her.
And I've been telling everyone. And let me tell whoever's watching this now or in the future, some of y'all might not like what Olivia has to say, but you should be friggin' listening to it, because
no one likes what I have to say.
Too bad. Like, you're right about a lot of things. Like, it's not like we have to agree on every single thing, but like we need people challenging our party and our
guess what? I'm one of the last people that is still here giving the Republicans advice. They can take it or leave it at this point, but I'm not like walking away from the conservative movement, going back to liberal. And a lot of people will do that, you know?
I know. That's the thing. I am a Republican. I'm on your side. I'm saying this because like I want them it's not just that I want them to win. I want them to actually do the things that they should be doing and help people.
Yeah,
yes, I want them to succeed.
Because I want us to succeed. Right. And a lot of people in the comments or on my social media will assume like, oh, she's just a libtard. I get that all the time. She's just a liberal.
I get that too.
You're a Democrat. You're a secret undercover Democrat. You sound like a liberal. Bro, I am trying to help you. If you don't want to win votes, that is not my problem. I am voting for Trump, but I'm not a registered Republican. I can't see myself. I can't envision myself voting straight ticket Republican. I almost even want to write in a candidate, but I know that this election
I
is
did that last time.
you wrote in a candidate. Yeah, well, I feel like I do, because there are candidates that I do like more than Trump, but in the current two-party system, it's just not possible.
Biden.
I can't. If it was a different candidate, I might vote for a third party, but I can't. Not for Biden.
I feel like I'm crazy, because how are people not seeing what I'm seeing? That, like, this is going to be looked back on years from now, and no one's going to believe that this happened, that a major party nominated this mentally unwell person who's falling apart.
Honestly, this election is going to be crazy, because a lot of people have the same opinion on Trump. So it's going to be like, and the Republicans hate Joe Biden, the Democrats hate Trump, and they all have uncovered crazy things about them. All have all these crazy I don't know how to say it, criticisms of them. Like, both parties honestly deserve better candidates, but we have two old guys that are both accused of sexual assault. So we are.
I disagree.
I think the criticisms of Joe Biden are a lot more credible, and I think that if Trump said half the shit that Joe Biden has said, that he would have been like assassinated already.
Yeah.
So there definitely is a double standard, but yeah, we deserve better.
I disagree with Trump, because I hated him last time. I didn't vote for him last time, and I've changed my mind. What really changed my mind on him is, I think, and this sounds crazy to a lot of people because he says stupid shit, but I really do think if you look at where the Republican Party was before him, where there's no chance I would have ever voted for any of those people, Bush and Romney and McCain, never, ever, ever, ever. So I think he really changed the party for the better. And I really do think that in terms of policy, he has in many ways brought minorities to the table where they've long been absent on the right.
Honestly,
I just want a lot more of that.
It is impressive that a Republican president is leading an anti-homophobia global initiative. I do find that impressive.
And and with the First Step Act, and with a lot of things that he's done. But at the moment, I really wish that he would be doing more. And I think, like, I understand why he does it, like, because he's attacked for every breath that he takes. So he always responds in this very tribal, political sort of way.
If he didn't have Twitter, I would like him so much more.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel
honestly, Trump administration, if you ever see this, if you ever watch this, please, I will intern and I will tweet for the president, please. I will make sure he doesn't tweet crazy shit, because his policies actually, I don't mind them. I don't mind most of them. I approve of most of them.
I just wish that he would try to be more unifying sometimes. I like that he's tough. I like that he fights back. But especially at this moment, like, go to these places, go to the black churches, bring cops and black people together, like, be the president to end this stupid racial divide. Like, I want that so badly for him and for my party and for my country.
Meanwhile, he's tweeting shit about like General Mattis, and like, that is not unifying most American. Like, General Mattis is one of those people that like a lot of Americans love, you know. It's like, why would you? It's like, we're in the middle of this huge pandemic. We have like riots going on. He's like, General Mattis. I'm like, bro, this is not what the country needs to hear, bro.
Someone in the comments said there is no racial divide. Look at Sticks, X, and Hammer. I love Sticks, X, and Hammer, but I mean, look around you. There's a racial divide.
There is a racial divide.
I mean, I don't know if you looked out the window.
There is a racial divide.
You don't have to agree with one side or the other or anything to.
Honestly,
we're very divided.
If we live in a country where people are spray painting, like,
wait, sorry, you cut out for
spray paint, like Black Lives Matter. Oh, okay. When we live in a country where people are spray painting shit, and those, I know.
Damn, you're cutting out.
Okay, wait. You're back. You're frozen for a little bit.
I was.
Yeah, you were.
Do you have stuff open?
No, girl.
Well, you're fine now.
Everything.
Well, you're fine now. Say it one more time.
I'm fine. We're all good. Oh wait, you want me to say that
one more time?
Okay, I thought you couldn't hear me again. Oh, okay. I was saying you can't say we don't live in a racial divide. We have people like spray painting shit and throwing bricks through windows. And we have people talking about white supremacy, black supremacy. I don't know, bro. We definitely live in a racial divide.
Of course. Here's the example that I would give, and this is going to be an unpopular thing to say, but when how Trump responded to Charlottesville. Yes, absolutely, 100%. The media totally lied.
Took it out of context for sure.
Never, ever, ever said that Nazis are good people. However, it was still a shitty response. It was an insufficient response. I wanted him to bring people together, give a speech about this is America. This is, and he didn't. He just responded from the same
saying that there's good people. Yeah, saying there's good people on both sides just made both sides more. I saw Republicans being like, "Oh, Trump agrees with Black Lives Matter. Trump agrees with Antifa," and then people on the left were like, "Oh, Trump agrees with the Proud Boys. Trump agrees with the KKK." So it's like that wasn't very unifying. I think something better could have been said. That's like, we disagree with hate, we disagree with racism, we agree with free speech. You should be able to without anyone like assaulting you, because we saw that woman Heather, I hate that I forgot her last name, but her first name was Heather, got killed at the Charlottesville thing. I think she got hit by a car, like someone ran her over. So if he had denounced violence and just left it at that, that would have been more unifying than saying there's good people on both sides. I know I'm not even reading the comments anymore. I can see how many there are, but I haven't been able to read them. I feel like people are mad, but I don't care.
Don't worry about that. You do you.
Yeah.
The criticism I had then is the same one that I have now. I want him to bring people together in this moment. I feel like even if you only care about your own self-interest, like, be that person, be the president to bring us together. Like, I just want that to happen so badly. And I feel like Republicans just never even try.
No, they don't.
And I get that a lot of them say, "Oh, what can he do? Oh, they're going to attack." Okay, fine. So you try and it doesn't work, then you try something else.
Yeah, it's like, here's the cognitive dissonance. It's like, oh, they attack Trump for everything he does. Okay, then he should stop tweeting so much. Like, he knows they're going to attack him. And then he's like, the mainstream media is attacking me. It's like, then don't tweet irrelevant shit all the time. Just, we like your policies. That's what we like.
Yeah.
That's what we like. So
no, and I also do like that he's tough and he fights back and he hits them where it hurts. But
I like when he calls out the hypocrisy. I like when he calls it the hypocrisy. It is weird for a person in the presidential office to be like hurling insults at people. I don't know. To me, that's weird. If I was in his shoes, I wouldn't do that. I would just stick with the policies.
Yeah, I mean, that's what convinced me. Because in the last election, we had nothing to judge him on based on his words and his personality. Right. And so I was like, oh God, he's going to blow up the world. And through his policies, he has proven me totally wrong. I never in a million years would have dreamed, because especially somebody who's always been a liberal in the classical liberal sense of that, the things that I've always cared about, that he'd do criminal justice reform, that no new wars, just that is huge for me.
Yeah, that's
so
good
totally
shit.
Proving me wrong. Yeah. And we don't even get to talk about that. Yeah. And
I hope someone takes a trajectory and ends things like private prisons and actually reforms the police department. But for now, the whole First Step Act, that actually is really good to me.
Oh God, we didn't even get to the defunding the police.
We barely talked about it. But we should bring up the fact that if you say that and you are anti-gun, you are the stupidest person on the face of the planet, because who is going to come for you? Not me. It's going to be yourself.
First of all, okay, this is what drives me crazy. And this is why my friend Peter, who I think is watching, love you, Peter, had a conversation on his channel that I think made a really good point. And this is how I feel, that I support the idea of Black Lives Matter, but not the group. Because I don't know if you saw, they released their platform. They're not their platform. They released their demands.
Yeah.
Very little of it was about police brutality. It was fossil fuels, end immigration laws, single-payer healthcare.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
and it
what they
was like
do.
it was saying that the nuclear family was a form of white supremacy and shit. I was
Oh,
like,
I didn't see that.
yeah, it was like
Jesus.
I saw this on the Black Lives Matter website or post or something. It was like we have to end the nuclear family. It's like a Europe, like I don't know what the fuck they were trying to say, but they basically wanted to end the nuclear family. And so I was like, yeah, I'll wear a shirt. I'll do all that shit. But what I will not do is like donate to them or something stupid like that.
No,
Because
here's
if
all
they're
the money
using my money
going.
to push like Marxism, I don't.
That's exactly what's
Right.
happening. And I mean, that's what the left has been doing for years, that they tie their radical leftist policies in with people's identity. So it's
It's
called Black Lives.
intersectionality.
Yep. So it's called Black Lives Matter, but they're really pushing end immigration laws, no fossil fuels, nuclear family. What does any of that have to do with Black lives? But then if you don't support any of their Marxist radical leftist policies, oh, you're just a racist. You just hate
I
Black
need to
people.
make
You
a
don't care
video
about Black
about this.
lives.
I haven't made a video since like February. I need to make a
Oh,
video about
I'm
this.
the same. You should. Oh my god, yeah. You have to make more because you're freaking amazing. No, I've been super behind in it too. I don't know about you guys. I'm finally coming out of it now, but for most of this quarantine, I was just really depressed and miserable, and
Me too.
I'm
Yeah.
finally coming out of it. Well,
I
especially
think
because it like apparently ended overnight.
yeah. And also it's summer now and it's like nice weather. And because we were cooped up during flu season and it was like all rainy and shit outside. So I was like, I wasn't really fucking with it. But now I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, though, so defund the police. So I think it is horrifying how quickly in 3 days something can go from an unfathomable, crazy idea that's only believed in by the most radical of the radical left. And in 3 days' time, it's on its way to becoming law. Politicians support it. Every celebrity supports it. All your Facebook friends support it. 3 days.
That's all it takes.
Crazy. I mean, in terms of the art of manipulation, I am in awe of the left. Like, the amount of control that they have over people is astonishing.
For sure.
I mean, it doesn't hurt having the media and every corporation and every powerful entity on your side. Oh, and I was thinking about this too. If you think about why every powerful corporation supports this, why does Chase Bank support this? Why? Because if they can keep us all bickering about race forever, then nobody's talking about class. And that's what these people do, is they just use black to mean poor. Joe Biden said that.
Yup.
Poor kids are just as smart as white kids.
Yep. Yeah, so that's how the intersectionality thing gets you, because they'll be like, okay, a black issue is also a poor issue, is also a gay issue, is also an immigration issue, is also a disability issue, is also a transgender issue. That's how they tie them all together.
We got to talk about that. So now all these people are I don't know if you've seen this. All these people are now offended by saying Black Lives Matter. So we have to say Black trans lives matter and queer lives matter.
I saw that
so
shit.
Explain this to me. The argument of why you shouldn't say all lives matter is that while all lives do matter, that's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about Black people. Okay, cool. How then is saying trans lives matter any different?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's but that's further left, so we have to jump on board.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because it's like Black lives, I mean, here's the thing. I see that statistic of, I don't know what it is, but it's like 40 or whatever black trans women were killed last year. 40 trans women were killed last year. And then you look into the police case and you look at the criminal, like you look at the court records, and it's like it was a drug deal gone bad. They committed suicide. They were mugged. Like the person didn't even know they were trans, or it was an ex-boyfriend who obviously already knew they were trans. It was always something, just a normal person getting killed, but they were trans. You know what I mean? It wasn't based off of the fact they were trans, most of them.
Nope, that is the lie that will not die. A person in America is almost 3 times as likely to be struck by lightning than a transgender person is to be murdered. You and I, as a member of the general population, is 4.5 times more likely to be the victim of a homicide than a transgender person is. It is very rare. And when it does happen, there's often
It's usually
no
not
evidence that.
because someone is transphobic or homophobic.
Yeah.
So, and then the video that was going around of the trans black woman getting beat up that caused the whole Black Trans Lives Matter, she was getting beat up by black men. So
Didn't want to talk about that though.
where's the intersectionality? Because the majority, a lot of minorities are not super as liberal, as left, as accepting of things like transgenderism as the Democrats think they are.
I know, and all the radical crazy shit being just dumped on top of transgender is making it so much worse. And I feel like there are only a handful of people out there like us who are saying like, hey, let's separate the crazy shit from trans people. These are two different things. Because otherwise, trans people are just going to be the baby getting thrown out with the bathwater.
Right. And I spoke a little bit about this last year when we were on live, but watching Blair was one of the things that kind of exposed me to a trans person that like wasn't super lefty. And I know it's really like, I don't know, it's not, I obviously don't think I'm like homophobic or transphobic or any type of bigot, but it is unfortunate that she was the first experience I've gotten with one that wasn't political, like very, just, she doesn't make her existence political inherently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Like,
and that's not your
yeah,
fault.
she
That's what
doesn't
they
like,
push out
yeah,
there
she
in the
doesn't
media.
push it on you.
That's what
So,
the media
yeah.
pushes out there. That's what they want everyone to see of gay people and trans people. I've said all the time, I'm like, if I were straight, I'd fucking hate the alphabet people. Like, I'd be the most
No,
homophobic person ever.
no, oh my God, what's wrong with you?
They're gonna watch. Give it like a year, and someone's gonna take that little clip.
You're
And
gonna be like, he has internalized homophobia.
yeah,
You're gonna be
I'm
like,
no, I
yes.
have
You're gonna be like, yes, I do.
externalized.
I do have internalized
No,
homophobia.
I've externalized. I hate other people. I just love myself.
That's
No,
so
I
true.
believe in equality. I hate everyone equally.
I love that. Yeah, that's very heartwarming.
By the way, I should say parentheses, if anyone has super chats, it's for charity tonight. Hit us with your super chats. What else has been going on? I feel like, and the media can only friggin' cover one story at a time. So it was coronavirus for months. Before that, it was
Yeah.
impeachment for months. Before that, it was Russia for months. Now it's all this shit. Like,
As a member of the media myself now, because last time we
you're
talked,
the
I
good
wasn't.
media.
Yeah, last time we talked on live, I wasn't on the media, but as a member of the media now, I have been writing on some smaller stories that should be big, but everything else is just bigger right now. So one of the bigger stories I wrote about recently, a couple weeks ago, was I honestly, okay, so this is gonna make you feel old, but I was 8 months old when 9/11 happened. Um, so I honestly was not aware that there was only one terrorist arrested and incarcerated in an American prison for this. I honestly just thought that they all died because it was a suicide attack. But there was one terrorist that was arrested because he helped to orchestrate the attack, and he was caught, and he's in an American prison. And he has applied for the case reopening. He wants to basically he hasn't applied to get out because he's serving a few life sentences, but he has applied for some of the restrictions on his sentence to be lifted because he has certain like I don't know what it's called because I don't know what is it called when like you have like police off like you're in like solitary confinement, like that's part of the sentence.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, so he has like a stricter
Terrible.
sentence
Yeah.
besides the life sentence. So he has like some crazy shit going on. I don't know, but he has requested for a lightened sentence, and I feel like that would have been big news without the pandemic going on.
Jesus. I haven't heard anything about
Yeah,
that.
I wrote an article about it for the Daily Caller, but he has renounced is like the Islamic State. He has renounced Osama bin
honestly.
Laden. Yeah, but
Even if he has, though, like,
also
too bad.
as late as 2018, he wrote that he was a born terrorist. So I'm not sure I believe the sincerity of it.
I mean, so he must be in federal prison, but I
Yeah,
think, I might be wrong, I think he was tried in New York. So if it's a
I
friggin' New
believe
York
so.
judge seeing this, he could easily be getting that reduced sentence.
Maybe. Hopefully it's a New York judge that has been in New York for at least, 20 or so years because they would have remembered the effects of 9/11,
Someone asked me, Peekaboo asked me, Mike, who are your favorite truthers in the truth movement? You mean like the 9/11 truthers? Oh, I don't know. I honestly,
again?
I honestly don't know anything about that.
That's
I
how I feel when people try to talk to me about QAnon. I'm like,
same. I
what?
have no clue what it is, and like that's not for lack of trying. I have read into. I still have no clue what it is.
I mean, I know what it is. They think it's a person
I
within
don't
the
get it.
White. They think it's a person that's like basically has infiltrated the swamp and is like telling us Trump's next move, and is like it's a conspiracy, like a kind of like a spy thing. And I haven't seen any evidence to believe that it's actually real. And I have all these Q accounts following me, and I don't know why. I've never talked about Q, never supported Q, barely know what the fuck is going on.
Same.
So
I have a buddy who's watching. I don't want to like out you if you don't want people to know, but who's like got theories for everything and like
yeah, I
he's
just
super
don't.
smart. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what? My personal opinion. Do you know why I do not believe that George Bush planned 9/11? Because
please
it
tell
worked.
me.
Because it
Oh,
worked. If he were
that's
behind it,
actually
those
funny.
planes would have ended up in Mexico.
That is actually that honestly is a good point.
That's
But
like
then
the evidence.
yeah, but then when you look at like Cheney's involvement in the Iraq war, and I'm like, it's a little
Oh,
bit
Iraq is friggin' shady as hell.
it's a little bit coincidental. Well, people make the argument that Bush and Cheney did 9/11 or at least let 9/11 happen to fund the Iraq war. Because that was the wasn't that the whole thing? Like 9/11 happened, we had to go to war with the Middle East, and then like none of the terrorists were actually from Iraq. They
Oh
traced
no,
them.
none. They
Yeah,
were
they
all. They
traced.
were all. Almost all of them. I think
Weren't
all
they
of them.
Saudi?
2. They were all from Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
and our entire country, both parties, is just up Saudi Arabia's ass.
Oil. It's oil.
Yeah, it's insane. Um, Leah, good point. Bush couldn't even pronounce words like nuclear properly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
Didn't he
hated
say
Bush so much.
nuclear? He said like
Yeah.
nuclear.
Well, that's what's so frustrating in this country is that whenever the American people are lied to en masse, as we have been for years and years and years now, there's never any consequences. Never anything. They just move on to the next lie. There was never any consequences for them lying about Iraq or Russia, or if we at some point know that they lied about the coronavirus or overstated it, just
No, yeah.
always on to the next hysteria. And that's the thing is a lot of people can say, like I said, I'm not personally like a conspiracy theorist, but I understand completely why
Okay.
people would
Do
be.
you have any conspiracies that you do believe in that are just like you believe are real?
There's the universal one.
What's the universal one?
Uh, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, well, that's
Duh.
fact. That's fact. That
Oh
is a
no, but when
fact.
that first happened, I had like some Democrats like arguing with me about that and saying I'm crazy and I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm like,
Bro, it was a lot of people on the left saying that too, because the left thought he would expose Trump and the right thought he would expose Clinton. Either way, I wish he had exposed anyone who needed to have been
yeah.
exposed.
I think my guess is that I think it was probably some very powerful person who none of us have ever heard of. That
You
would be
know
my
what? It's probably someone even richer than Trump and Clinton combined.
yeah, yup.
Yeah,
We've never heard their name. We don't know who they are. Something
honestly.
like that. But no, it's funny because I've been saying I'm like, God, 2020 is turning me into a conspiracy theorist because from Epstein to coronavirus to all of these ridiculous things that you just feels like we aren't being told the full truth. And that's what I was
Yeah,
going to say is like people can talk about, oh, how horrible people who can believe conspiracy theories. And the real question they should be asking is, why would they believe so many conspiracy theories? Because they've been lied to we've all been lied to our entire lives by the government and the media.
for sure. I mean, there is some truth that like a lot of people just want to call something a false flag. Like I've seen people call like every instance of like police brutality, they commented, "Oh, false flag." Every mass shooting, "Oh, false flag." I'm like, okay, dude. But yeah, certain things, certain bigger things than that are definitely true. My favorite conspiracy theory that I actually believe in. Have you heard of the mattress store conspiracy theory?
The mattress store?
Yeah, like
Is that like
mattress
the
firm.
mattress girl?
No, what's that?
You don't know the mattress girl? I think, okay, I could be wrong because I don't remember the details, but something like this girl at Columbia, I think she lied about that she was raped. I'm pretty sure she lied
Oh
about
wow.
it. And she carried around the mattress on her back everywhere.
Oh,
And then I think it came to
I
light
heard
she
about
lied.
that. I heard that there was a girl that did that. I did not know she lied about it.
I could be wrong. Fact check me on that, but I'm like
Okay.
90% sure
Wow.
she lied.
I hope that's not true. But
I'm
the
gonna look
mattress
this
one, the
up.
mattress store one, it's like Mattress Firm, Mattress Warehouse, like, you know, any of the big mattress providers. So I don't know if it's like a nationwide thing, but I've heard it is from different like YouTube videos and like conspiracy channels and whatever. Don't flame me for that. But around here in Montgomery County, there's like a strip of like four
She
or
lied, by the
five.
way.
Oh,
Sorry.
she did.
She lied.
Okay, so there's like a strip with like 4 or 5 mattress channels, like all clustered together, and that happens like throughout the country. Like all of the it's like car dealerships. You know how car dealerships are always like clustered together? Mattress stores are always clustered together, but there's nobody ever in them. The average American buys a new mattress like once every decade. Honestly, I've never bought a new mattress, and I've had the same. I've had the
I
same.
need to.
I've had the same mattress for like 15 years. Like I've never bought a new mattress.
I need to.
But
I want one of those
anyways,
purple ones.
the stores are always empty, and so there's a conspiracy that dated back to like the 1920s or some shit. That's like the Mattress Firm is like a money laundering front because no one's ever there, and they have so many fucking stores, and no one's ever in the parking lot. They have horrible sales. Most people don't buy a new mattress every year. Like it's just not a commodity that we need a lot of because people
Yeah.
just use the same mattress for a long time.
That's
I'm
crazy.
telling you right now, it's a front for something crazy. It's a sinister front.
I'm gonna look into that.
That's the one conspiracy theory that I believe in.
I think my honest to God opinion is I think more conspiracy theories are true than people who don't believe any of them, and less conspiracy theories are true than people who believe all of them.
For sure. For sure.
What else has been going on that we need to cover?
I don't know.
This political call keeps friggin' calling me.
You should answer it. Put it on speaker and answer it.
Maybe they're gonna want me to be the president.
Yo, that literally. You ever get those emails that's like President Trump wants you, and then you open it and it's like, please select your donation.
My dad was telling me, he's like, I keep getting texts from Nancy Pelosi. I was like, what do you mean, Nancy? I'm like, no, they want your money. And I'm like, just right back. Like,
does he live in Nancy Pelosi's district?
Oh, we live in New York.
What the fuck?
I told him, I was like, just right back, build the wall.
Build the wall.
They'll never text you again.
Yeah.
So what has been going on in your life? Do you have anything fun going on?
I've been writing. I've been applying to a lot of publications to write because I'm trying to move out. You know, I'm a big old 19 years old right now.
I always forget you're so young. You're like super mature.
How old do you think I was? A lot of people like the last couple live streams and calls I've been on, they're like, "What are you, like 22?" I'm like,
I think like 25. No, not goal. You seem very mature. That's not a bad thing. You seem very mature and wise.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I saw your live stream with Brad. I love Brad, by the way. But yeah, I FaceTimed him like a week ago, and he was like, "Are you still in school?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What are you, like 22?" And I was like, "I'm a freshman in college. Like, yes, I am still in school."
God, I mean, Republicans should be like, you know what? This freshman in college knows a lot more shit about us than we do. So,
and a lot of people, they love to come on my page and be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I thought you were a strong Black Republican, and now you're a liberal." Bro, you realize you're following a teenager. Like, I don't. But I wasn't.
Unfortunately, there's a big market out there for people to repeat other people's opinions back at them.
That's how I got started. So that I completely understand that. And it wasn't because I was trying to grift. Like, I've never made like a GoFundMe or done anything like that shit. But I was under the impression that the only way for people to listen to your opinion is if you repeat something someone else has said, basically.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't like that, but I wasn't a Republican, so I focused a lot, and I'd always been a Democrat that I focused so much more on them. But now that I'm a Republican, and now that I'm seeing the terrifying alternative, we need to call out. And you guys watching this, if you're a Republican, if you're a right-leaning person, if you're just not a Democrat, not a leftist, we need to call out Republicans and force them to step the fuck up.
Step the fuck up.
Hashtag step the fuck up.
Yo, we're making a new hashtag.
If you guys are still watching and have made it this far in the episode, send us hashtag step the fuck up. Even though I'm banned from Twitter.
I'll honestly, please just make an account. Just don't use your name. Or I've seen
people find out, they trace it.
All right, make your name like Hike Marlow on it or something. I don't know. Change your name slightly.
Ooh, we have a super chat. Miles, thank you so much, Miles. Hey Mike, did you see the Democrats bending down with kente cloths? I haven't seen them I haven't seen this many bended knees since the Lolita Express for Epstein.
You didn't see them? You didn't see them?
I saw it because I looked at your Twitter like today. Oh my god.
It looks gross. It was like, first of all, Nancy Pelosi wearing kente cloths was not something that I expected to see when I opened the internet today. It's not something that I wanted to see. It's just, and then what the fuck does the Black Congressional Caucus even do? Because it came out that they were the ones that made the white Democrats wear the kente cloths. And I'm like, who do you work for? I feel like they just work for the Democrats, not for Black people, because that wasn't something that anyone really wanted to see. And half the time, the liberals are like, oh, cultural appropriation, it's pandering. And then when some 80-year-old white woman wears a kente cloth, they're like, woo, she's for the people. Black power, like
ridiculous.
She has nothing to do with Black power, bro.
Who told them this is a good idea? Like, you look ridiculous.
The Black Congressional Caucus, which honestly, I don't.
Did they actually, or were you joking?
No, they actually did. They actually.
What's wrong with them?
Black people don't even like them. They don't have a Black agenda either.
Hell, I feel like their Black agenda is the toxic, is an agenda of poison.
The CBC Black agenda is just get Black people to vote Democrat.
But it's like, here's what it said a while ago, and I'm sort of paraphrasing this comedian, but it's like, if you're a company that makes rape whistles, you might have started that business with good intentions, but in order to stay in business, you need rapes to continue happening. It is against your interest to stop rape. That is Democrats when it comes to racial conflict.
Right.
And this is Republicans when it comes to racial conflict.
Ignore it.
Yep.
I pretend I do not see it.
La la la, can't hear you. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of both sides. I'm so sick of
Yeah. The Republican response to police brutality is posting a picture of a cop and a black kid hug.
That is so true. That is so true. And I love that shit. Like, I wish you'd have more of that, but like not in place of action.
Yeah, obviously, I wish that was the true story, that the cops in the Black community have a great relationship. But the fact that they want to ignore it and just post some picture of they just want to be like, oh, kumbaya. Like, nothing, shit ain't sweet. Shit is not sweet right now. So don't act like it is.
Yeah.
Is there any other topics we missed? Can you ask your followers to put some topics that we missed?
Yeah, tell us anything that we have not hit upon that you would like us to. And send in your super chats if you have any. It's for charity, bitches.
Put that on a t-shirt. It's for charity, bitches.
Joseph said, if they abolished the police in Chicago, would anyone notice?
Oop. Yeah, crime is pretty high there. I saw there was like 95 shootings this weekend or this week or some shit like that.
Did you see that, even as ridiculous as he is, I never thought I would be saying anything positive about him, but did you see Sean King even said...
Yup. He
was like, we keep voting for Democrats and they're the ones, their cities are causing all the police brutality.
It's about time. It's about damn time. But also, I love how he talks like we who? You're white. What are you talking about?
Talcum X.
Talcum X. I saw people say Martin Luther Cream. I was like, Oh my
A
lord.
couple people asked about white guilt and white people washing black people's feet and bending down. Like, it's so gross. Like, can't you just be fucking normal?
Bruh,
Weird.
we need to stop with the talking points. Someone said never any shootings in red states. Are we just gonna ignore the black church shooting in North Carolina? Is that what
Oh
we're gonna
yeah.
do? Is that what we're gonna do? Because there definitely are shootings in red states. And red states have like pretty high poverty and pretty low education. So let's just stop acting like Republicans are perfect.
No, not at all.
Yep.
Yeah, what I was gonna say in terms of like the white guilt people who are ridiculous. Like, I feel like these white liberals who are so obsessed with race, they care about race so much that I feel like they hide it behind a very happy face. But I feel like if somebody's going to treat somebody better because they're black, the day will come when they are treating people worse because they're black. And you see that all the time with all these Karens who call the cops on people. They're always white liberals.
Yo, yeah, the
And
Karens
I
need to stop. And my mom laughs at it because my mom's name is literally Karen. Like she's a
that's right.
middle-aged, yeah, she's a middle-aged white woman named Karen. So, but it's funny because she never asked for the manager. I don't know if she's ever called the police. Not since I've been around. Um, but it's just funny to see because she totally embraces it. She thinks it's funny, but it's the actual Karens that get mad about it.
I have a question for you, Olivia. So, like, I'm
Sure.
always interested in this. So, in school and your normal life, the stuff that you do, I always wonder this because this is a struggle with me. What do you do? Do you get a lot of shit like when you meet people and you get along with people and then they go to add you on social media and they find out who you are?
I just say I don't have Twitter.
Oh, that's genius. Well, what do you say you do? I mean, I guess you're in
I'm
school,
like,
so you feel like
I
I'm a
used to get
student.
I I do get shit though because people like on Instagram I had to remove myself from like a lot of pictures because I'm tagged in pictures with like Candace Owens. I'm tagged in pictures with Vice President Pence. Like I'm tagged in pictures with like all these fucking people, and everyone's like DMing me like, "Why are you literally at the White House with Donald Trump?" And I'm like, "That's not me."
Ah,
That's not me. So, honestly, no, I own it when people ask me about it. And then they're like, "Oh, I can't talk to you no more, Olivia." I don't really give a fuck. But I don't like talking about politics with just regular friends because
yes.
let me see. I would say I have like 3 people I consider like best like in real life friends, and all of them hate Trump. All 3 of them do not like Trump. Only one of them I would consider very political, but the other 2 are not political and they still hate Trump. So I just don't talk about it. And it hasn't caused problems with people who are my close friends, but in the past it has. Like back when I was in high school and I first got political, of course, people are more like, I don't want to say brainwashed, but people are like, they don't know how to argue back then. So when I first came onto Twitter in 2018, I was like 16 or 17 at the time. And I got a lot of hate back then because I was still in high school. And like people from my high school found it. They were like quote tweeting me like, "Oh, this bitch went to my high school. She's a coon." Like, blah, 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 blah. So, but now it's like I'm in college and I'm a political science major. So anyone who comes at me, like anyone on my wrestling team, anyone who finds out about my Twitter, they don't want to fucking debate me because I'm a poli sci major and I will ruin them. So
Yeah.
honestly, it used to be a thing where I used to come on Twitter and complain like, "Oh, my friend cut me off because I'm a conservative." Blah blah. I used to complain on Twitter about it, but now it's like, just don't surround yourself with people that are like that, and you're gonna be fine. You know?
Maybe it's because I'm gay. I don't know.
Maybe
Because
it is.
and in New
Maybe
York,
it
it
is.
seems like
Yeah.
everyone is like that. It's mad.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset because I met this guy that I was like all into, and he was all into me, and that I think he found out who I am, so that's done. And I'm just so sick of that happening every single time. And I got fucking doxxed, so my number and address is on Google now, so they can just Google my phone number and
That's
find out
insane.
who
You
I
know
am.
what? Yeah, I can't speak to like the gay male community or whatever, but I have seen just on Twitter it is a bit more militant because people act like I have 0 black friends. Like I would say like half of my close friends are black and the other half is white, and then I have other minorities sprinkled in there, I guess. But a lot of my black friends, they know and they don't care. I don't like the stereotype that all black people are brainwashed and all black people think that all Trump supporters are like white supremacists. Like my ex who is black, I'm like, he's like my best friend now basically, but he hates Trump. His family hates Trump. He has never had a problem with me supporting Trump. It's just like, I don't know. The thing is overblown to me. Maybe it's a gay thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's so frustrating because I never know like when's the right time. Like I just wish that it could get to the point of like, let's get a beer, hang out, go out once or twice, and then shit's on the table, and then by you've gotten to know me, you at least a little bit can tell the kind of person I am. But they will just judge you immediately, and but if it's at a point before we've really like hung out at all, I really try to be cagey. I don't tell them my last name. I don't tell them my social media. I don't
for sure.
But now they can just type in my phone number and find all of it, which sucks. But so this guy I was talking to, like, I'm so mad about it that like, I was like, he's like, what party are you? I'm like, oh, I'm an independent. And he's like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, that's okay. We don't have to agree on politics. And I swear to God, I was like about to cry when he said that. I was so happy. And then literally 2 texts later, unless you're a Trump supporter and I can't have anything to do with you.
Wait. What happened to that dude? All right, so you were getting doxxed and shit on Twitter, and that they made a fake screenshot saying you were a pedophile, and then that dude like stopped talking to you because of it?
Oh, that's a different one. Yeah. So anyone watching this who doesn't know the backstory, Blair and I both had like this Twitter mob come after us. They made fake DMs of both me and her. It was of her using the N-word. Me, they made fake thing to call me a pedophile, which by the way is like in my opinion, is the most homophobic thing you could do, to like just make that up about a gay person when that's like the oldest.
Exactly. They did the same shit to Brad. They did the same shit to Brad.
I know they did. I know they did. And so many of those fuckers didn't defend him when that happened. I was so disgusted by that. And I remembered that too. And I was like, wow, I think this is just like their new attack against gay guys who aren't leftists.
Yep. Well, for Brad, it was like a bunch of like right wingers doing it, and then to you is a bunch of left wingers doing it. Like, there's just it's so easy to be like, oh, the gay guy's a pedophile with literally no proof.
And it's not just no proof; they'll make up like. What was crazy too is I got the person who created it to admit that they
I saw it. They were like, oh,
matter.
I thought it was funny. I didn't think anyone would believe it, bro. People believed it.
But people continue sharing it after knowing that it's fake.
That shit pissed me off. And then right after that,
they're all still on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then Twitter wants to hide behind a fucking rainbow and talk about how they're pro-LGBT people. Those people are still on Twitter, but I'm banned. And all the death threats that were in my
I reported like all the screenshots, and I never got any updates that was like, oh, this violated any account
down out of a dozen, and not the person who created them. So no, but what you're mentioning, there was this guy that I was talking to at the time, and we'd gone out once, we're planning to go out again, and I didn't even know he knew who I was, but I guess I didn't know I was doxxed at the time, and he could just Google my phone number. But so he saw that and decided to think it was real, and I literally sent him the thing. I'm like, it's friggin' fake. And he's like, well, that's your side of the story. I'm like, it's the other person's side too. Like, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to these people. It's like, once you're not in their cults.
Can I ask a question? Is he like out of the closet gay? Because I feel like a lot of gay guys experience that, like the false accusations, and would know when something is false, you know? Or they would feel something.
It doesn't matter if you're not in that leftist cult. It does not matter.
I would just think that a lot of people would have gone through the same thing, were bullied and stuff in the past, so they would know not to just assume that every gay guy's a pedophile based off of one fake screenshot.
Also, I've never in my entire life been called or had anybody try to be like, oh, you're gay, you're a pedophile. Like, and these were all leftists. These were all, and every single one, it was, and you look in their bio, it was pronouns, it was queer, non-binary, which proves what I've always said about these alphabet people. They are very homophobic. They do, to them, gay people are privileged.
And that's why you're homophobic. That's why you have externalized homophobia to the alphabet people.
They're not. It's not gay people. It's people who I don't know what the hell. They're queer. They're
Queer.
non-binary.
Oh
They're
god.
like, I hate that.
Yo, this video is gonna come back and bite me in the ass with me saying queer. Yo.
It's all me. Bring your
Am I allowed
shit at
to even
me.
say that? Am I allowed to say queer? I don't even know.
Like everything else they do, when they do it, it's okay. With the rest of us, who knows?
I've never even used that word in a derogatory way before, but
I hate that word. I don't understand how they use it. Yeah, I don't.
because I grew up thinking it was derogatory, like along with like the F word. So
yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and I think queer is even worse in terms of like what the words mean. That it means literally abnormal, mentally unbalanced, deranged, shady, suspicious, worthless. That's a dictionary definition, and it shows in the LGBT community that like this is the word you bandy behind. This is the word that you identify with. Like you can't say gay people are normal or LGBT people are normal and then call yourself queer.
Yeah, like if it's and like people they drew like a parallel with the N word and like how black people say nigga and stuff, and it's like that was never. No one has nigga in their bio. Like
Exactly.
no one is like he like he him nigga. It's like no, that's like it's still a bad word. It's just more of a colloquial term amongst Black Americans.
Exactly. Which is more comparable to gay people saying fag or something. Like I
Yeah,
totally get that. But
I
black people
understand
don't.
reclaiming the slurs. What I don't understand is taking a slur and then saying this is actually okay to
This is
say,
what
but
we
only
are.
for certain people. Yeah,
Because
it
the
was
N
just
word,
weird.
the meaning of that word is so derogatory that you may like throw it around colloquially, but you would never say, "Oh, this is what I am."
Right,
You
right. I'm
never
not.
call yourselves like the N word community.
No, I
It's
don't say that, but
insane.
people do say the queer community, which is weird
It's
to me.
insane. It's insane. It
Yeah,
just shows how out of whack their principles are. It's insane.
yeah, for sure.
Well, so anyway, if anybody has any remaining super chats or questions or anything, it's for charity, bitch. So get at us. And I put your Twitter below, but Olivia, where can people find you?
My YouTube channel is just my name, Olivia Rondeau. That's Rondeau. It is very French, but I'm not French. So that's the spiel about my last name. So go find me on YouTube.
Yeah, how'd you get such a French last name?
Are you asking a black person why they have a European last name? Mike
Oh
Harlow?
shit!
Mike Harlow, I think you forgot about slavery. Yo, I'm literally about to cancel you right now. You said
I've been canceled so many
I
friggin'
actually did.
times.
I actually low-key set you up for that one, so that wasn't even an unreasonable question.
What? Oh,
I just think it's mad funny because people I've gotten a lot of comments on Twitter that's like, oh, are you French? Are you French? Why do you have a French last name? Do you ask a black person why their last name is like Smith or like Jefferson or Washington or some shit?
yeah, I hadn't
Bro,
thought of that.
no, just kidding. You're
I
good.
check my privilege.
You're good. You're good. You're good. That was mad funny. Yo, if no one has anything else to say, I want Mike to go off live so I can smoke a joint with him and continue talking shit. So I'm not gonna incriminate myself by doing that on live.
Oh, we're both gonna be so canceled after that. It's so stupid. Somebody Jacob asked, or wait, first Peekaboo asked, when is the next walkaway event? Who the hell knows with all this shit?
Brandon said there was something in like this fall. I want to say October. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be there?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Well, hopefully, I hope I mark my words. Give it at least a week or two there, and especially in October, November. Oh, it's the second wave of coronavirus. It's the third wave. This is not over by any means. Mark my words.
He said I could come, so hopefully I can get out of school for that.
Yes, you have to come. You have to come.
I know. He wanted me to be a speaker. I asked to be a speaker, and he said okay, but then I forgot I had school. So, but like I don't know. I'll just get out of it. I'll run away. My coach will have my ass because you know like it'll be fine if I was just like a regular student, but as a student athlete, like I'm in the NCAA, so like they're really strict about like missing practices and shit.
And then I was gonna answer Jacob, when are you leaving the Socialist Republic of New York? Also, if you're ever in Cleveland, give me a call and we'll get a beer. I've never been there. I would totally love to. You know, I'm really considering that. The only thing is I haven't been anywhere in this country that I've found yet that I would want to live. So once this shit clears up a little bit more, I really want to go to Texas. I've never been there. Olivia, you should come. We'll meet in Texas.
We should just meet each other in Texas.
Let's do it. I'm so down.
Yo,
I'm gonna try to get my driver's license so I can do like a road trip.
Even I don't have a driver's license either. So.
Oh my god, I just feel like the only one.
No, I mean you live in New York, so you have a valid excuse. I honestly don't have a valid excuse. I'm just scared. So.
Leah said she's proud that I made it through conversation without talking about scary movies. But now you set me up where I can, and I can say that if this stupid friggin' Winnie the Flu virus delays Halloween Kills, I am going to be pissed.
I can't watch scary movies by myself.
You and Leah, the two of you. Oh, by yourself, so we can all watch them.
I'll watch one with you. I just can't watch it by myself.
Okay, good. Well, Leah, come with us. We will all watch them together. Leah hates scary movies.
Really?
Someday.
I actually do. I like being scared, but it stops being fun when I'm like sitting alone in a dark room, like
oh, I love that.
No,
I see. My like perfect date is like scary movie, and then we like walk around the park and shit. If I ever have a date again, as long as
me too. If I ever have a date again,
my phone not ringing. Whatever.
I'm waiting for someone to slide in my DMs like, "Hey, want to watch a scary movie with me? I'll make sure you're not scared, but you know, no one likes me. That's fine.
I like you. Danny,
you're gay.
Danny said she said something to PayPal for charity. Thank you. I will include that. And let me just say, all the super chats that we raised tonight for AJ, I'm going to cover the fees, and I'm going to match whatever you guys send. So AJ, you will get twice whatever we got. So
that's really nice of you.
Hey, whatever. I got unemployment, so finally.
Why you just expose yourself like that? That geek.
Well, I wouldn't have like I don't want unemployment. I just want to work. But since
no, for sure. No, for sure.
I've never been on anything like that. But that's what I think is really disturbing about this too. Is like we're all on government assistance now. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's really.
Unfortunately, my parents claimed me on their taxes, so I have no stimulus check. I have nothing.
Oh shit!
I was like, I went to my mom. I was like, "Why did you claim me? Like, I went to college. Like, I wasn't even living here." But I think they get a slight tax break. It's weird because it's not even worth $1,200. The tax break they get for claiming an adult child is not worth $1,200. So I don't think she knew that. So I don't blame her at all. Because obviously, who's going to predict that we're going to have coronavirus?
Yeah, seriously.
But I wish I did get a stimulus check.
It covered like 90% of it. I had to just give to rent.
Obviously, yeah. You live in New York. Oh my god, your mom must be crazy. Do you live alone, or do you have roommates, or what?
No, I have roommates. At least I have good roommates.
Okay. Are they like conservative, or are they just like,
no? One of them is super liberal, but he loves me anyway. That's like my one friend. That's like my one friend who.
That's so cute.
Doesn't hate me for it.
Right.
And then my other one is just like not political at all.
Right.
But anyway, all right. So, you guys know where to find Olivia. You know where to find me. Please tweet Free Mike Harlow. Tag Twitter support. I put the stuff below. Check all the things below. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on the things. Blah blah blah. Okay. I'm banned, but at least send Olivia's hashtag step the fuck up, which she is doing.
Period. Hashtag step the fuck up. Hashtag Free Mike Harlow.
Love you, Olivia. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this. And Olivia, we got to do this again soon. This was amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, you're the best. And Republicans, listen to us. We're trying to help you.
We are. We literally want y'all to succeed because we don't like Democrats. We don't want to be forced. I do not want to be forced to vote for a Democrat, but they're running unopposed in a lot of places.
Better listen to us. All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. We will see you soon. Bye.